The air was thick with anticipation, the kind that makes your heart race and your palms sweat just a little. Fans of Shen and Dylan Wang, the beloved stars of Meteor Garden, 2018, had gathered in droves for what was billed as a special fan event in Shanghai. The venue, a sleek auditorium decked out with purple and yellow lights, colors synonymous with the DiYue fandom, hummed with excitement. Posters of the duo's iconic moments as Dong Shankai and Dao Mingxi adorned the walls, and the crowd, a sea of glowing phone screens and handmade signs, buzzed with whispers. They'd seen the teasers on Weibo. Something emotional was coming. But nothing could have prepared them for what unfolded that evening in July 2025, a moment that would leave fans teary-eyed and spark a frenzy across social media. If you're reading this, imagine yourself in that crowd. Can you feel the energy? What would you do if you were there, holding a sign for Shen or Dylan Wang? The event was meant to celebrate the enduring legacy of Meteor Garden, the drama that catapulted Shen and Dylan Wang to stardom and birthed one of C-drama's most cherished on-screen pairings. The organizers had promised surprises, and fans speculated wildly in the days leading up. Would there be a reunion project announcement, a behind-the-scenes reveal, or, as some dare to hope, a hint about the duo's off-screen bond? The Shen-Dylan fandom, as it's affectionately known, has spent years dissecting every glance, every interview, every fleeting moment between the two stars. Their chemistry as Shankai and C was electric, but for many, it's the real-life connection, whether platonic or something more, that keeps the obsession alive. Have you ever shipped a celebrity pair so hard you scoured the internet for clues? Tell me, who's your favorite on-screen couple? As the lights dimmed, Shen stepped onto the stage first, her signature dimpled smile lighting up the room. At 28, she's as radiant as ever, her petite frame draped in a soft lavender dress that seemed to nod to the DiYue color scheme. The crowd erupted, chanting her name, and she waved shyly, her eyes scanning the sea of fans. "I'm so grateful you're all here," she said, her voice warm but tinged with a nervous edge. "Tonight is special, not just for us, but for all of you who've supported us since Meteor Garden." The fans cheered louder, some holding up heart-shaped signs with messages like, You're our moon." If you were in that audience, what would your sign say to Shen? Then came Dylan Wang, striding out with that effortless charisma that makes hearts skip a beat. At 26, he's grown into his fame with a mix of boyish charm and quiet confidence. Dressed in a tailored black suit with a subtle purple pocket square, he flashed a grin that sent the crowd into a frenzy. "Shanghai, you're too loud," he teased, earning laughs and screams. He joined Shen at center stage, and the way they looked at each other, playful, familiar, maybe a little knowing, had fans clutching their phones, ready to capture every second. Do you think on-screen chemistry like there's always hints at something deeper, or is it just acting magic? The event kicked off with a montage of Meteor Garden highlights, Shankai and C's rainy confession, their bickering at the beach, that heart-wrenching moment when C lets her go. The crowd sighed and cheered at all the right moments, some dabbing their eyes as the memories flooded back. But the real surprise came when the host, a bubbly TV personality, announced that a fan had been chosen to share something special. A young woman named Li Mei, a longtime DiYue supporter, was invited on stage. She was visibly nervous, clutching a folded letter, her hands trembling as she stood between Shen and Dylan Wang. "This is for both of you," she said, her voice cracking. "It's from all of us in the fandom. If you could write a letter to your favorite celebrity, what would you say?" Shen, ever the empathetic one, stepped closer to Li Mei, offering a reassuring smile. "Take your time," she said softly, placing a hand on the fan's shoulder. Dylan, standing nearby, nodded encouragingly, though his expression was harder to read, serious, almost pensive. Li Mei began to read, her voice shaky but clear. The letter was a heartfelt ode to the impact Shen and Dylan Wang had on their fans. "You made us believe in love," she read, "not just the kind in dramas, but the kind that fights through pain and distance. Shankai and C taught us to be brave, to stand up for what we want, even when the world says no. And you and Dylan, you showed us what it means to care for each other, on and off the screen." The crowd murmured in agreement, some fans openly weeping. Have you ever been moved by a celebrity's work in a way that changed how you see life? The letter went deeper, touching on personal stories. Li Mei shared how Meteor Garden helped her through a tough time in high school when she felt alone and misunderstood. "Shansai's strength gave me courage," she said, looking at Shen who was already tearing up. "And C's loyalty made me believe there are people worth fighting for," she added, glancing at Dylan. His jaw tightened, and for a moment, he looked away, blinking rapidly. Was he feeling the weight of the words, or something more? Fans in the front row later swore they saw his eyes glisten. What do you think goes through a celebrity's mind when they hear such raw emotion from a fan? As Li Mei continued, the letter took a turn, addressing the duo's bond directly. "We see how you look at each other," she read, prompting a ripple of gasps and giggles from the crowd. "Whether you're just friends or something more, we love how you support each other. It's rare and it's beautiful." Shan's cheeks flushed, and she covered her face with her hands, laughing nervously. Dylan, meanwhile, bit his lip, his usual playful demeanor replaced by something softer, almost vulnerable. The crowd roared, some chanting DiYue. Do you think stars like Shen and Dylan Wang enjoy the shipping, or does it put pressure on their real-life friendship? When Li Mei finished, the auditorium was a mix of applause and sniffles. Shen, wiping her eyes, took the microphone. I don't know what to say," she admitted, her voice thick with emotion. "This letter means so much to me, to us. You've all given us so much love, and I feel it every day." She turned to Li Mei, hugging her tightly, and the crowd awed. Then she looked at Dylan, who was still unusually quiet. "Dylan, do you want to say something?" she asked, her tone gentle, almost like she knew he was struggling to keep it together. Have you ever seen a celebrity get emotional in a way that felt totally genuine? Dylan took a deep breath, stepping up to the mic. "I'm not good with words like you is," he started, his voice lower than usual. "But hearing this, it hits me hard. You guys see us, really see us, not just as actors but as people. And that's rare." He paused, rubbing the back of his neck, a habit fans know well when he's nervous. "This letter, it reminds me why we do this. For you, for the stories we tell. And yeah, you and I, we've been through a lot together." He glanced at Shen Yu, and the look they shared was so charged, it sent the crowd into a frenzy again. What do you think that glance meant? Was it just gratitude? Or something more personal? The moment hung in the air, heavy with unspoken feelings. Fans later flooded X with clips of that exchange, analyzing every microexpression. Dylan's eyes were so red, one post read, with a string of crying emojis. Another fan wrote, "Shen Yu holding back tears while looking at Dylan. My DiYue heart can't take this." The event, captured in countless fan cams, became a viral sensation, with hashtags like #ShenYuaLetter and #DylanEmotions trending worldwide. If you were to post about this moment on X, what would your caption be? But the night wasn't over. The host, sensing the emotional peak, pivoted to a lighter segment, a Q&A where fans could ask Shen Yu and Dylan anything. The questions ranged from silly, "Dylan, do you still eat instant noodles like C?" to poignant, "You, how do you stay so strong in tough times?" One bold fan asked, "What's the one thing you admire most about each other?" Shen Yu went first, her eyes twinkling. "Dylan's passion," she said. "He throws himself into everything, acting, basketball, even joking around. It's inspiring." Dylan grinned, but when it was his turn, he grew serious again. "Yu's heart," he said simply. "She cares so deeply about everyone. It's why she's so real." The crowd melted, and social media exploded anew. If you could ask Shen Yu or Dylan Wang one question, what would it be? The event wrapped with a surprise announcement. Shen Yu and Dylan Wang would be guest starring in a new rom-com special, a one-off project reuniting them on screen. The crowd lost it, screaming so loudly the host had to pause. Details were scarce, but the promise of seeing them together again was enough to send fans into a planning frenzy. Would they stream it live? Host watch parties? The anticipation was palpable. Have you ever been so excited for a celebrity project that you planned your whole day around it? As the two stars waved goodbye, standing close enough that their shoulders brushed, fans couldn't help but wonder about the truth behind their bond. Were they just friends, bonded by years of shared fame and memories? Or was there something more, carefully guarded from the public eye? The letter, Dylan's raw emotion, Shen Yu's tearful response, it all felt like a glimpse into something deeper. On X, fans debated endlessly, some pointing to a 2021 report claiming Shen Yu was dating actor Sun Ning, others citing Dylan's rumored links to co-stars like DiYue or Esther Yu. Yet, a July 2025 article claiming they'd married sent shockwaves, only to be met with skepticism. No official confirmation ever surfaced. What's your take? Do you believe the romance rumors, or is their connection just a beautiful friendship? The night left an indelible mark on the DiYue fandom. Fan accounts churned out edits, pairing clips of Dylan's emotional moment with soft piano music or Shen Yu's tearful hug with Li Mei. One viral post read, "They're not just stars, there are stars shining for us." The letter, shared in full on Weibo by Li Mei, became a rallying point for fans, a reminder of why they fell in love with Shen Yu and Dylan Wang in the first place. For those in the auditorium and the millions watching grainy live streams, it was a night of connection, of shared tears and hopes. If you were to write a letter to Shen Yu and Dylan Wang, what would you thank them for? And if you could tell the DiYue fandom one thing, what would it be? As the buzz continues, fans are left with questions and dreams. Will Shen Yu and Dylan Wang ever confirm the rumors that have swirled since Meteor Garden? Will their next project reignite the magic of Shanghai and C? For now, the memory of that night, Shen Yu's trembling voice, Dylan's unguarded emotion, and a letter that spoke for millions lives on. Check X for the latest fan reactions, or share your own thoughts in the comments below. What's your favorite DiYue moment, and why does it hit you so hard? Let's keep the conversation going.